Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more r/AmITheButtHole. And if you love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And I just gotta say, I've been loving your stories about what you're doing whilst listening. It's absolutely making my evenings whilst I'm reading through the comments. So thank you so much for that, and let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from Am I the Arsehole Stomach Flu, who asks, am I the arsehole for not letting my brother and sister-in-law see my daughter after they threw away her medicine? I have a 4-year-old daughter, Emma. I'm an alcoholic and I have been sober for 2 years. My brother was Emma's court-appointed guardian from when she was 15 months old to just before her 3rd birthday. I had to fight for almost a year to get her back. My brother and sister-in-law are still upset that I took Emma from them and have called CPS on me numerous times and make it clear that they don't trust me to take care of my own kid. They love Emma and Emma loves them, so I tried to take her to see them a couple of times a month. A couple of weeks ago, Emma caught the stomach flu from someone at her preschool. I'm in school full time and had a midterm that day, so I asked my brother to watch her for a couple of hours so I could take my test. They said they were happy to take her, so I brought her to their house that morning with her medicines. A schedule saying she's supposed to take which medicine and the dosage, a bottle of Pedialyte and a few changes of clothes. I come to pick her up after the midterm and half her medicines, her clothes and her Pedialyte were gone. When I asked about it, they said they threw away all of her medicines and the Pedialyte because they were liquids and they were already opened, so I could have put something in there to make her sick/sleep. Not that it helps much, but I never hurt my daughter or gave her anything that wasn't recommended by her pediatrician. They also said I shouldn't be giving her Tylenol and Motrin. Again, her doctor said it's fine, so they didn't buy her any Motrin. Then I asked about the nausea medicine, prescription, and they said they didn't think she needs prescription meds for the stomach flu. They also felt her clothes weren't good enough for her, so they gave it to their neighbour for her garage sale and bought her new clothes, meaning they most likely took her shopping when she was sick and should have been resting. I left with Emma and haven't spoke to them since, except to tell them they will not be allowed anywhere near my kid unsupervised. I'm working on Thanksgiving, so I was going to drop Emma off with my parents so she could see my family, but I still don't want her to be around them without me, so I'm leaving her with her babysitter instead. Now my family is giving me a hard time for not letting my brother and sister-in-law see Emma and are excusing what they did by saying they were just worried about her. Am I the arsehole for not letting my daughter see my brother and sister-in-law? Edit, I'm not going to do the postcards. It'd be a lot cheaper and easier to send an email saying we moved after we get settled in. And I think that's probably a hint to what we're going to see down below in the comments. Now, to me in this one, it kind of felt like, because you were an alcoholic in your past, even though you've moved on now, they see it as that you basically can't move on, and therefore your decisions should never be trusted. And I personally can't see that changing anytime soon. Anything you do, parenting-wise, they're going to question it. I mean, they even gave away your clothing, so it wasn't just about the medication. It feels like they're trying to control all aspects. So absolutely not the arsehole. They ignored yours and your doctor's advice on this one, so it will be a not the arsehole from me. Giant Brown Guy says, not the arsehole. Your brother and sister-in-law are sabotaging your recovery and relationship with your child. I wouldn't be surprised to see them talk negatively about you and your history as she gets older. You may need some distance to feel safer and have the mental capacity to deal with them. OP replies to this one saying, they don't know this, but Emma and I are moving across the country in February. I think the space will be good for us. Nuts Michelle says, not the arsehole. They aren't worried about Emma. They're trying to sabotage your parenting efforts so they can regain custody of your daughter. It was lovely that they gave her a safe space to be when it was needed, but you've earned your daughter and deserve to be her mother without these people treating you this way. Elspeta says, not the arsehole. My SO works for CPS and I just read this to him. He said, you should absolutely report this to your social worker. They put your daughter in danger by throwing away her meds and it needs to be documented since they keep calling CPS on you. Congratulations on your sobriety. Never a thought says not the arsehole. You need to stand your ground here. They're constantly putting you in danger of losing your child by calling CPS on you. They throw away prescribed medication. They're acting as if Emma is their daughter and undermining your decisions as a parent. They need to be cut out of you and Emma's life immediately. And our next one comes from C.R. Bryant 1972, who says, not the arsehole, you regained custody. They threw away open bottles of medication because they were afraid, even though you could give the child anything at any point. I am sure you appreciated them getting temporary custody when it was needed, but she is back in your custody now. Now, what do you guys make of this one? What would you do if you found yourself in that situation? Is there any other way to navigate your way through it or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to another story. And our next story comes from Winterled33, who says, "Am I the arsehole for telling my fiance to leave? I 30 male and my fiance 26 female have our wedding scheduled for next spring, but there might be a delay. Fiance announced that she was pregnant and nobody in the family knows yet. My father was travelling back home on the train a few nights ago and felt a large pain in his chest. When we got home, my mother rushed him to ER. He was told that he needed bypass surgery, and my mother let everyone in the family know. Some family came up and are keeping my mother company. The surgery was a success and he is now in recovery. We went over for dinner to celebrate my father's successful surgery. The entire conversation was about my father and making sure my mother was going to be okay. During the dinner, my fiance stands up and announces we were expecting. My sister stood up from the table and told fiance she was out of line and called her a bitch. Everyone was glaring at my fiance and I looked over at her and said, I think it's best if you leave. She calls an Uber and goes back to our apartment. I went home and saw my fiance packing a suitcase. She starts yelling at me that I should have left with her and will be staying with her parents. Her parents have texted and called me about what happened. Am I the arsehole for telling my fiance to leave? Now, usually in these stories, when there's a celebration dinner or something going on, the person's automatically the arsehole for making it about themselves. And I found this one to be a real strange one. So they're having this celebrating like the successful surgery, and the entire conversation was about father and making sure mother was okay. So I can almost see that conversation being a little bit down, and I'm just presuming there. So then suddenly it sounds like out of nowhere, fiance gets up and says, "We're pregnant." Not quite like that, obviously. Then sister stands up and says, "You're out of line and you're a bitch." And everyone was glaring at fiance, and then you get up and tell the fiance to get out. So I got to say, whilst, fiance getting up and saying this, I think everyone went crazy in this one, and it's going to be an everyone sucks here from me, apart from mum and dad in this. I can picture everyone at the moment stood up around the table, mum and dad sat there thinking, what the bloody hell's going on here? Yeah, so it's an everyone sucks here from me on this one, but Mojo says, "You're the arsehole." Okay, so this post is pretty light on details, but I think it's reasonable that your fiance was thinking, hey, since we're celebrating a successful surgery and recovery, let's add another happy thing to the day. Yes, that should have been discussed with you beforehand, but your sister was also way out of line. Unless there's something here that's missing, you should have stuck up for your fiance because your sister was absolutely wrong. Izzy Wee says, "I feel like there's some missing context and details here, OP. If dad's issues were resolved, the pregnancy could be a bit of happy news, something to recover and live for, so to speak, especially if it's the first grandchild. But if the conversation was not resolved, or dad is under orders to avoid excitement, all this news might be upsetting to family given that no wedding has taken place, assuming they might be more traditional, then a very arsehole thing to do. What exactly did the family take offense to, and is there some history here? Feels like it. Your fiance should not have made any announcements without checking first, and it might be a wee bit premature given that a miscarriage could cause further upset in the family. And I sort of didn't think about the news as well to dad after what he's just gone through. He probably doesn't need any additional excitement or drama in his life right now." And Dancing Chinese Kid says, "Everyone sucks here. Your fiance can't read a room. Your sister can't talk like an adult. You shouldn't make her leave alone. You go with her and come up with a game plan for healing. Not leave her alone to stew in shame." Judge Judd Am I the Arsehole says, "Everyone sucks here except your parents. Your fiance utterly failed to read the room. Your sister escalated and you neither formulated a plan with your fiance for what should have been an obvious pitfall for the both of you, nor handled the fallout well. Yes, we have news, but this is not the time, and an attempt to redirect both your fiance and your sister to your dad should have been sufficient. Whether or not fiance was an intentional or inadvertent arsehole with the announcement, you quickly and explicitly siding against her is not going to be forgotten." Jules says, "You're the arsehole. What was that all about? Father has successful surgery, family go out to celebrate, fiance and son are expecting, so let's turn everything to a shit pool and you tell her to leave alone. What's the point? Why? because it's fun to be arseholes. If I was her, I'd leave and never come back. Now, what do you guys make of this one? Holy moly. It all went sour quick. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and we'll move on to another story. Now this one, the title got me intrigued, so we're going to have to read it. And it's from OKSpot5629, who says, "Am I the arsehole for giving away my neighbour's avocados?" So this is a bit bizarre. I have 7 different avocado trees, 6 mango trees, 4 types of peach trees, mulberry, pomegranate, lemon, orange, guava, granadilla, and apricot trees in my yard. I also grow almost every herb and veggie you can think of. Wow, it sounds amazing. There's only my mum and I in the house, so of course we welcomed anyone to come in the yard and pick fruit and veggies throughout the year, should they want or need to. Now there's one avocado tree that is really close to my neighbour's yard, but doesn't go over her fence. She has been using the avocado trees for free, for years now, because she has a catering business. I didn't mind and still don't. Yesterday, someone came over to ask for avocados carrying 2 big baskets. I of course said they're welcome to go pick some and to just close the gate when they're done, and I went back to watching my shows. Avocados are pretty annoying because during windy times like right now, most ripe ones just end up on the ground and I have to clean them up the next morning. So anyone who comes to pick some avos would actually be helping me. I thought nothing of it until this morning when my neighbour came banging on our front door asking me why I gave away her avocados. I was a bit confused, so I asked her what she means. She then says she's an avocado supplier for a restaurant a few kilometers away, but I ruined it by giving the owner's daughter baskets of the avocados, and I ruined her business because now the lady said she'd just come over here and ask for avocados, and she would even offer my mum and I money. Which we wouldn't accept because my grandma raised my mum and I to never sell free things that are needed in the community. She blew off at my mum and then said we are really the witches everyone thinks we are. All because my late grandma was a herbalist and most people try to grow trees, plants and veggies etc. in our area but never succeeded, but it's no problem for us. I feel bad that us giving away fruit might have ruined the neighbour's livelihood. Her family really needs every cent, but am I the arsehole for giving away avocados? They literally had a free money tree, except it was in your garden, and they have the cheek to come round and tell you that you gave away her avocados. The bloody cheeky so-and-sos. How entitled can you get? And you sound like a wonderful person to let your community come in and do that. I would be absolutely thrilled to bits. My grandma, when she was with us, she had one of these gardens that had plum trees, peaches, all sorts going on. Apple trees, and I remember used to going around there and picking them and just coming out with like bags full of these things, and it was wonderful. So you to be able to do that for your community and let people pick all these things is absolutely amazing. But there's always someone who's going to take the piss and like this person here and start selling your stuff, and I know you feel sorry for them that they need every cent right now, but selling your stuff is not the way forward. And I'm not sure what it's like in other countries, but in the UK avocados are expensive. Well, what I call expensive anyway. They're over £1 a piece. If I was you, and I know it's wonderful what you're doing, I'd definitely consider maybe selling them at a huge discount for the maintenance towards your garden, you know. Absolutely not the arsehole. While I do have empathy for anyone who's struggling financially, taking someone else's stuff and selling it is not the right way forward, especially claiming it's yours as well. Holy moly. Mike Noble 91 says, so this woman was selling your fruit and is now mad that people she was selling it to figured out her genius plan. Lol, not the arsehole. Tell your neighbour to shove it. I see Cherry says, not the arsehole. Basically sold your avocados and now she is upset. That is called entitlement. Man with Pet says, not the arsehole. Your neighbour was selling avocados that grew from your tree on your property. They were selling your avocados, making a profit and keeping it for themselves. They are mad because their free money is gone. They were using you, making money off of using you even. That said, the restaurant is selling your avocados too. You should cut the middleman out and sell avocados to the restaurant yourself. I know your nature is to give them away, but people are profiting from your avocados. You should get a piece of that. And even so, and even before, like you said, you like giving it away to your community, and we mentioned maybe about using it for the maintenance on your garden, but even if you're not comfortable doing that, giving the money for charity, it will further benefit your community in the end. Rouge Admiral Annie says, not the arsehole, they are not her avocados. If she needs them, she can clearly grow her own avocado trees. OP replied to this one saying, "Lol, this made me laugh and smile because there's a belief in the community that whoever plants an avocado tree from the seed will die by the time it bears fruit. I think it was just an old way of saying that it takes almost 15 years for avocados to grow, since some avocado trees go a lifetime without bearing fruit. But people took it a literal way because everyone is scared to plant an avocado tree, which probably is the reason why most people think we're from a line of witches." And Solution Leading says, "Not the arsehole, your neighbor was profiting off of your generosity and had the nerve to be angry when you were generous to others. Your neighbor should be ashamed of herself." Now, what do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What should OP be doing? And we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Caffeinated Tragedy. Am I the arsehole for not agreeing to work Christmas for co-workers with children? I've 23 female, been employed at my work for about a year now. I got hired on right after I graduated. Our holiday schedules switch each year, meaning employees are scheduled to work on every other Christmas. I worked last Christmas, the 23rd, 24th, 25th and 26th, meaning this year I'm scheduled to be off for Christmas. I don't have children, but am very close with my family, so I was looking forward to not having to worry about work and spend Christmas time completely focused on them. Our Christmas schedule has come out, and this has led to annoyed parents of small children because they have to work Christmas this year. I was approached by a few co-workers about me working their Christmas shifts. Employees are able to do shift exchanges, meaning you can trade shifts, and they would work shifts of mine before Christmas. Everyone knows that my boyfriend and I, 25 male, don't have children as of yet, so I tend to be one of the people that gets asked the most for shift exchanges. I declined the co-workers that asked if I would work their Christmas this year, and I could tell there was annoyance about this. The thing is, if I agreed to work this Christmas, I would almost definitely be working 3 Christmases in a row, because I doubt I'd be able to find anyone to switch with me next year if I tried, as obviously Christmas is a time when no one willingly wants to work. I may not have kids, but my family is very close and my grandparents have medical problems, so I try to enjoy every moment I can with them I can. I was also looking forward to not feeling exhausted during family time. Seeing the annoyance of co-workers when I decline made me both feel bad and frustrated. I understand that everyone obviously wants to be with their kids during Christmas, but I want to be with my family too. So I'm wondering, am I the arsehole for saying no to working Christmas if I don't have kids? Edit, for those curious, yes, I do work in healthcare. Nope, not the arsehole at all. People without children are allowed to enjoy Christmas just as anyone else. They're allowed to spend family time, and your holidays are scheduled that way to make it fair. And I think it's a simple thing saying, no, I want to spend Christmas at home this year. I have plans. Simple as that. You don't need to explain anything further. They can be annoyed as much as they like. This isn't your problem. You're allowed to spend Christmas with your family and enjoy it and relax. And putting this pressure on you, they should be ashamed of themselves, basically. But Hi, AmITheButtHole says, not the arsehole. You worked it last year and your vacation plans are just as important as those with kids. You did your part and now it's someone else's turn. Fargo says, not the arsehole, I'm sorry I have plans, repeat as necessary, no further explanation is required. Tyrannosaurus Rex says, not the arsehole, I hate it when people with children pull this sort of thing, as if people without children have no life and family. Dr. Physics Girl says, not the arsehole, if you traded with one, everyone else would be annoyed that you chose that person as well. That's a good point, putting further pressure unfairly on you again. Suffragette Citizen says, not the arsehole, even if you don't have children, you are somebody's child and grandchild. Why are your parents less deserving of seeing their child on the holiday that your co-workers are? No is a complete answer, but if I were you, I'd be tempted to really let on thick about the grandparents, get teary-eyed, distracted, then ask them, oh, I'm sorry, just thinking about how it might be my grandma's Gramps last Christmas. What did you want to ask me again? And one more from Cranky Kitty who says, not the arsehole. I split some duties with one other person at one job. One of us had to work Christmas Eve and one of us had to work at 8 AM on December 26th. Fortunately, we were closed on Christmas Day. My co-worker always got supervisor to let her have 2 days surrounding Christmas off because of her children. For 3 years, I left work at 5 PM on Christmas Eve, drove 3 hours to my parents' house, spent what was left of Christmas Eve and spent most of Christmas Day with my family, and left at 4 PM to drive back to my house so I could work at 8 AM. Then I discovered my co-workers' children were 30 and 35 years old, and I demanded the following Christmas off. Holy moly. Now, what do you guys make of this one? Do you yourself have one of these schedules where you have to work Christmas one year and then you're off the next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to another story. And this story is from a throwaway account who asks, am I the arsehole for telling my girlfriend that she was embarrassing me? We were in the drive-thru for Taco Bell and the line was obnoxiously slow. We had already ordered, and it was that kind of drive-thru with a building on one side and curb on the other, so you know where to bail when you got fed up with waiting. She continuously honked and I told her that's not going to change anything. That was the start of her being upset with me. Once we got to the window, she told the kid working there that she was unhappy with the wait. He apologized and said it was because they were short-staffed and were very busy that night. She told him that she wasn't paying for the food. He asked if that meant she didn't want her order. She said, no, I want my food, but I shouldn't have to pay for it. I wasted so much gas waiting in that line. That's unprofessional and unacceptable. He apologized and said he couldn't give her a free meal. She said, well, what about my gas? He shrugged at her, and I got upset and said, oh my god, you are so embarrassing. You're embarrassing me right now. Just pay for the food and stop acting so entitled. She told me, don't talk to me like that. Is this your car? Is this your gas? No. Then be quiet because you have no say in this. She then continued harassing the kid for a discount, a gift card, and wanted to speak with his supervisor, which the kid declined because the supervisor was busy, unless we wanted to park and come in, which my girlfriend didn't want to do because she had already wasted too much time waiting in line. In the end, I paid for the meal. Yes, it wasn't even her that was paying. That was probably flavoured with spit after the way she treated him. She's still mad at me for this and wants me to apologise for embarrassing her, but I don't think I'm the one in the wrong. It wasn't the kid's fault the line took so long, and I thought the way she talked with him was out of line. My first thought is, and I know this may be an over-exaggeration, but why the hell are you with someone like that? Holy moly. Honking in a line. I can't imagine waiting for food and sitting there honking. I mean, what, like you said in this post, what are you expecting to happen? And asking about your gas money and stuff like that. And in some ways, I know it probably just escalated the situation. Someone like that just goes off the rails. But I'd just say, right, you're not having your food. Crack on. Off you go. And I would love that to happen. But as I said, I know it probably just escalate the situation and make things a lot worse. But people like that don't deserve service to me. They're probably doing their best in there to get your food ready, working their hardest, and the part of the reason some of these places are like this at the moment is because they're short-staffed, because of people like this moron who thinks that they can berate people just like that and get away with it. Oh, makes me pissed off. Nut Michelle says, not the arsehole, I'm sorry to hear about your breakup, right? Dwell says, not the arsehole, if this girlfriend is unaware of what is going on in the world and how many businesses are short-staffed, she needs to pull her head into the sunshine and look around. Dancing says, not the arsehole, I felt physical pain reading that. What a deeply obnoxious human being. I'd rather find a video of my wife having a threesome with my brothers than be around with her acting like that. Imaginary Being 1949 asks info, and you still want to date her? Opie replies, honestly not so much. I've seen her mum act like this, but worse, and I never said anything because I figured she was embarrassed at her mum's behaviour. Now I'm starting to realise the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We're 18 and she's my high school sweetheart, but if this is the adult she's going to become, it's not the type of person I want to spend my life with. And one more from Kat in a Human World who says, oh my god, don't apologise. That's disgusting behaviour anytime, but especially in COVID times. Everywhere, especially food and hospitality, is struggling with staffing. It's gross to take it out on the poor folks that did show up to their shift. Also, when I order food, takeout or delivery, I accept that any issues that may pop up are a consequence of me opting for convenience. She didn't have to get fast food. If she didn't want to run the risk of inconvenience, make food at home. That's my mentality. Don't cave to the manipulation. Trust your gut. You did nothing wrong. Now, what do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and your thoughts on all of today's stories. And there's a playlist on your screen right now that will scroll through Am I the Arsehole posts for you. Have a click, helps the channel out, helps me out. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon.